and welcome to Heart Conversations. I got anybody on more for me today? Let's see. Welcome, welcome. This is another Heart Conversation. I am your host, Dr. Michelle J. Clark. And why are we so comfortable being average? That's the topic today. The title today: why are we so comfortable being average? This is more than a podcast, guys. This is a place where we have hard conversations that many people avoid, but everyone needs. This episode today is not to discourage anyone, it's not about criticizing anyone, right? It's or it's not even about comparing ourselves with anyone else. Who's on today? Let's see. Hello, hello. All right. It's about challenging every single one of us and introducing ourselves, right? Let me ask you one question. When did average become acceptable? When? Somewhere along the way, many of us stopped pursuing excellence and started pursuing comfort. Why? We applaud potential more than discipline. Why do we do that? We celebrate intentions more than consistency. Why? Why do we do that? We complain about where we are more than we commit to becoming better. But before we go any further, let me be clear. We do not all begin with the same resources, the opportunities, the health, the support, right? Or even the circumstances. Some of us are navigating illnesses, disability, some grief, and financial hardship, right? Caregiving responsibilities, or challenges that others cannot see. Excellence is not about comparing your journey with someone else's. It's about faithfully developing what is within your control. Before I go in any further, I want you guys to just um, ask yourself this question. It's not about when you ask this question, what am I doing that is discouraging? What am I doing best that I can live with? Or have I become comfortable living beneath my potential? Let me ask that again. Am I doing the best that I can with what I have? Or have I become comfortable living beneath my potential? A lot of people don't even see their potential. You have to see your worth. We talked about it episode 4. What's in the mirror? Do you like what's in the mirror? A lot of people don't even see their potential. Many people do not fail because they lack talent. They remain stuck because they have become comfortable with their habits that no longer serve them. Why? This is a hard conversation we're having today. Before I go any further, if you would please like and subscribe this video, like and subscribe. Okay. All right. Excellence. Is it a habit? One principle that has endured for centuries. All right. Let me make sure I'm quoting this right. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, it is not an act, but an habit. That statement is commonly attributed by Aristotle, right? Although those aren't his exact words, but those words may not have come directly from him, but the principle stood the test of time. So excellent isn't something we suddenly wake up to one morning, right? It isn't luck. It isn't an accident. It's built through small decisions we make every day. So let me ask you this. What habits are you building today? Habits of excellence? Habits of excuses? We constantly hear that. Or habits are quietly building your future. Habits are quietly building futures, even when we cannot see the results. Contentment. Let's talk about contentment is not complacency. We also need to understand the difference between contentment and being complacent. So many of us are complacent with where we are. Why? Why? Ask yourself that question. Contentment says, I am grateful for where I am while I'm remaining open to grow. Complacency says, I know I need to grow, but I have decided that comfort matters more. Rest isn't laziness. Pausing to recover is not failure. Even being satisfied with a meaningful life is not mediocrity. There's a difference between resting because we are tired and refusing to move because growth is uncomfortable. It's a difference. The question is whether or not we're moving at the same pace as someone else. We don't need to look at someone else's challenges or look at someone else's day to day. The question is, are you still moving in a direction you know you need to go? Why do people settle? I want you to picture this. Imagine a young girl whose dream was always to become a physician, right? She's intelligent. She has access to necessary resources. She has people cheering her on. She has that support. She has experienced rejection. Instead of learning from it, strengthening her applications or trying it again, she allows one painful moment to define what she believes is possible. Years later, she isn't frustrated. She's just um, upset because her lack of ability. She's frustrated because she stopped believing in herself after one setback. Why do we do that? You have to believe in you when no one else does. How many people are living lives they never intended to live because comfort became easier than growth? It's so many people that refuse to come out of that comfort zone. Why? Settling doesn't always look like a failure. Sometimes it looks like staying in a relationship that you have outgrown. A lot of us do that. Remaining in a job that no longer is developing you because comfort. Accepting habits that slowly steal your health. Why? Why? Refusing to have necessary conversations. We talked about this, hard conversations. Why are we not having the hard conversations that we need? Playing small because it feels safer than risking disappointment. I want you to ask yourself honestly, have I remained where I have become because I am content or because I'm afraid? Don't wish life were easier. John Rowan said, and he said this quote, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. That statement has always challenged me because many of us spend times our lives hoping and praying that circumstances are becoming easier. But what if the answer isn't always easier circumstances? What if the answer is becoming stronger, more disciplined, more resilient, more prepared? There's always going to be circumstances outside of our control. Personal growth does not guarantee that every obstacle will disappear. But when you become stronger and better prepared, some of the problems that once stopped you become challenging you now to know how to face it. Right? So I want you guys to just think about that. Here's another question. Why do we celebrate mediocrity? Why? Have we lowered our standard? Are we continue to, instead of encouraging people to rise, we don't do enough of that. We have to lower our expectations so that no one ever feels uncomfortable. Why do you have to lower who you are or subject yourself to that for someone else's comfort? Because they're uncomfortable. Encouragement matters, right? Grace matters. Compassion matters. But compassion should not eliminate accountability. We talk about accountability all the time. You can love someone while still believing that they are capable of growth. It's so many people, I see potential in them, they don't even see it in themselves. I see that they can win the race, but they can't see that they can. You have to hold someone accountable while speaking with humility and respect. These are hard conversations. I tell people all the time, don't ask me, I'm gonna give you the truth, not to pat you on the back and tell you something because you want to hear it. No, there are areas that I see with my family members or whomever that I care for that you have to show that respect and you have to show humility and let them know because you're helping them. And sometimes the most loving thing you can say is, I see more in you than you are currently giving. I see potential in people, but I'm not going to force my perspective if I see that they're not willing to or they're not mature enough to hear. Accountability should not be to humiliate people. I'm never trying to humiliate. I'm going to give my truth though. But it should help awaken them to what is possible. So why can excellent feel offensive? This is something that I notice this. Have you ever noticed that someone or sometimes things happen and when these things happen, people begin to change. And these things is something as someone losing 80 pounds. People say, oh, you changed. Someone who earns a degree, people say, you already know what they say. You think you better than us. Why? Someone starts a successful business. People say, what? Oh, you just got lucky. Sometimes excellence make people uncomfortable because another person's discipline remind them of the dreams that they postponed it. It's holding the mirror up, episode 4. Excellence can expose excuses. Not because successful people has done anything wrong. It's because their progress forces others to examine themselves. That's why. The example I just gave the other day about degrees. They don't call me Dr. Clark because it shows what? Okay. My growth makes some people uncomfortable. Your growth makes some people uncomfortable. But I'm going to grow anyway. And you should as well. Your discipline may remind others of what they avoided. Whose problem is that? That's theirs, not yours. Remain disciplined anyway. You do not have to make yourself smaller because someone else is uncomfortable. Not going to do it. Get out your feelings. Figure it out. You'll be all right. Discipline over motivation. Leadership expert John C. Maxwell said, let me make sure I get this right. You will never change life until you change something you do daily. Think about that. I know someone every day he get up in the morning, he on that phone. That's the first thing he do. Get on that phone. Success is rarely the results of one giant decision. It's usually the result of 1,000 ordinary decisions. Reading one more chapter, saving a little more money, getting up a little earlier, making one healthier choice, keeping one promise to yourself, having that difficult conversation. Having a difficult conversation. I'm telling y'all, having a difficult conversation will make you feel so much better. Asking for help when you need it. Daily choices eventually become long or lifelong results. Motivation may help you begin. Maybe you just need a little more motivation. Discipline helps you continue when the motivation is gone. I'm gonna use an example of the one of the greats, RIP to Mr. Kobe Bryant. Think about Kobe Bryant. Millions admired him when they saw him during the games. But what made him extraordinary wasn't only game day, it was practice day. It was early mornings. It was extra uh, repetitions. It was the extra um, discipline with that ball, the commitment to mastering his craft long before anyone was watching. Many people want the results of excellence. Far fewer are willing to embrace the routine that produces those results. Success follows discipline, not popularity. So, what are you willing to practice on when no one is applauding? That's what matters. When no one is watching, what are you willing to repeat before anyone can see the results? That's what you need to ask yourself. Why do people become defensive? Imagine a manager tell two employees, "You're capable of more." One employee says, "Thank you. What can I do to improve?" The other one says, "Are you attacking me?" The same words can produce two different responses. Of course, feedback should be respectful. It should be specific and fair, of course. Not every circumstance is correct, and not every person offering feedback has good intentions. We know that. But emotionally healthy people learn how to examine feedback without immediately allowing pride or defensiveness to take control. Stay out your feelings. Hear what the person is saying. If it's respectful, good, right? They ask, "Is there any truth here that can help me grow?" Growth minded people look for opportunity. Defensive people often hear only criticism because they stay in their feelings. Maturity is not agreeing with everything someone says about you. Maturity is being secure enough to consider whether this is something that you need to learn from. That's what a mature person says. Stop complaining more than you're improving. How much time do we spend talking about our problems compared to the time we spent trying to solve them? Someone wants better health, but never changes a single habit. Someone wants financial freedom, but never examine their spending. Someone wants stronger relationship, but refuses to change how they communicate. It's about communication. Someone wants a different career, but never applies, never try to evolve, never try to study, never try to get a certification, never try to network or ask for guidance. Wanting change is not the same thing as creating change. Talking about life or the life that you want is not the same as building it. Prayers matter. Your vision matter. Planning matters. Write it down. Affirmations, put it on the mirror. But there eventually comes a moment when you must take action. Ask yourself, am I investing more energy in explaining why I cannot change or in discovering how I can? You got to ask yourself that question. Make excuses for yourself. Okay. And that's how you will never grow. Are we raising resilient people? Life would not remove every obstacle. I wish it would. I wish it could, but it's not. It's not going to happen. Many times life teaches us how to overcome these obstacles. Adversity is sometimes good. Resilience is built during difficulties. Character is revealed under pressure. Yeah. When you can walk away from that clown when they are disrespectful, when you don't get in your feelings. Strength develops by carrying an appropriate moment of weight, not by avoiding every challenge. Supporting people does not mean preventing them from experience every disappointment. There's a lot of people that don't support. Why? Support people. That's how you get your blessings. Loving people does not mean removing every consequence. I love a lot of people, but some of them people I do not like who they are. And that's okay. If we remove every challenge, we may also be removing opportunity for that growth. The goal is not to make people suffer unnecessarily. The goal is to help them discover that difficulty does not have to destroy them. You know how many adversities I've endured, and I look back and I'm like, I am so glad I did that. Sometimes the most vulnerable lesson we teach another person is it is difficult, but you are capable of facing it. And you do not have to face it alone. But that's support too. I'm going to go in faith. I'm going to give you a little faith perspective. Colossians 3:23 reminds us that whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say work hard only when someone is watching. It doesn't say give your best only when you are receiving recognition. It doesn't say pursue excellence only when someone is applauding. This scripture reminds us that excellence is first about integrity. I always talk about integrity. It is about who you are when no one is watching. About who you are when no one's watching. That's the key right there. When no one is praising you, do you remain committed? Do you? Only you know that. When no one is checking on you, do you keep your word? Always keep your word. That's the first thing you should do. You can't respect the person that don't keep his word. Be a man of your word. Be a woman of your word. When the results are taking longer than you expected, do you remain faithful? Do you have patience? Excellence is not merely a performance. It's a reflection of character. We talked about in one episode, a lot of people don't have character, right? I'm gonna leave you with 7 practical day challenges that I felt that was helpful. I don't want you to finish this episode feeling inspired for 10 minutes and then returning back to your same routine, getting up first thing in the morning, going to your phone. You're not praying, you're getting on that stupid phone, and you're going to social media and you're looking at clowns perform. It's okay to look at social media if you're getting some substance from it, but if you're listening to peasants, I wouldn't suggest you listen to them. You're going to pick up their attributes and you're going to become less and less like them. I want you to take action. Take action. Choose from one area of your life. And that area could be your health. Go to a gym. Or if you don't have the funds, go run. Go to a school. Your faith. We definitely need that. Your finances, your relationships, your education, or even your career. Write 3 things down for me. First, what standards have you been accepting? Second, what standards do you want to establish? And third, what is one action you can repeat for the next 7 days? Make it small enough to complete, but meaningful enough to master it, or meaningful enough for it to matter. Maybe it's waking up 20 minutes earlier so you won't be rushing in traffic and complaining on the way to work and then spilling your coffee doing it. Reading for 10 minutes, not on the social media. Get a book, get a physical book. We don't read enough. Do that. Saving a specific amount of money. Yeah, maybe not buy those shoes. You don't need them anyway. Ain't nobody worried about none of that. Praying before you check your phone. Let me say that again. Praying before you check your phone. I get so annoyed with that. Somebody stay on their phone all the time. It's annoying. Submitting one application. If you're tired of the job, leave the job. Who cares? You've been there 30 years. Leave. You mess up your peace every day. Worried about this job. Leave it then. I said faith. Making one necessary phone call. We got some people that we need to have some conversations with. Have the conversation. Stop being passive aggressive. Say it is. Say what it is that you want to say. I just don't understand. Say it. Keeping one promise to yourself. Do it consistently for 7 days. Not because 7 days will completely transform your life, but 7 days can prove that you are capable of beginning somewhere. I challenge myself all the time. You have to. If I'm not gonna put nobody else on a pedestal, I'm definitely gonna put me on a pedestal. Absolutely, absolutely. Imagine 2 students. I'm gonna leave you with this. Imagine 2 students graduating from the same university, right? Both received the same diploma. Both began with similar opportunities. One decided that learning is finished. The other continues reading, growing, seeking mentors, accepting correction, mature, improving every year. 10 years later, their lives may look completely different. Not necessarily because one is more talented, but because one never stopped growing. Your life does not change only through a dramatic moment. It changes through the choices we repeat after the excellent or the excitement has disappeared. Average is not your identity. And complacent does not have to become your decision. But some people can't see the forest through the trees. Some people, you're not going to be able to allow them to see through that lens. That's how we all have different, I use this analogy, different lenses, right? My glasses, you may not see through my glasses because everybody's vision is not the same. It's not going to be the same. Excellence is not reserved for extraordinary people. It's built through extraordinary decisions repeated consistently, excuse me. You have to be consistent. Consistent. So today, ask yourself one question. Have I become comfortable with average? Are you okay with just being here? Or do you see yourself growing? Either way it goes, okay, but me. Then tomorrow morning, do one thing, just one. That the complacent vision of yourself would not have done. Your future is not built on one extraordinary moment. It's not. It is built through thousands of ordinary decisions that we made with extraordinary consistencies. Thank you for watching another episode of Our Conversations. I am your host, Dr. Michelle J. Clark. And if this conversations challenge you, encourage you, or cause you to think differently, subscribe and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your comments. And if it's one area where you have decided to raise your standards this week, great. But until next time, keep asking yourself the hard conversations. And until then, you guys have a good one.